Back to Fox and Friends. The Supreme Court upholding Texas's new abortion law banning termination once a fetal heartbeat is detected, usually at 6 weeks. And one Newsweek contributor finding issue with the decision, claiming it could lead to more children with disabilities, tweeting, "You can't screen for Down syndrome before about 10 weeks, and something like 80% of Down syndrome fetuses are aborted. If red states ban abortion, we could see a world where they have 5 times as many children with Down syndrome and similar numbers for other disabilities." My next guest signed a bill banning abortions based on Down syndrome diagnosis, and my daughter Valentina, who was born with Down syndrome, was right there by her side. Joining me now is South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. Governor, welcome to the show. It's always great to have you here. So, you know, this tweet was ghoulish. It was disgusting, but it was also very revealing. I think a lot of people don't understand that there is eugenics is part of the history of Planned Parenthood, part of the history of that movement, exterminating the disabled, exterminating blacks, minorities, anyone they consider undesirable. Is that why you passed the bill you passed in South Dakota?
Oh, absolutely, Rachel. And I want to thank you and Sean and the family bringing little Valentina to South Dakota for that special time in our history in this state. Listen, that tweet, I hope people realize that it really was evil. In what it did is that it's starting to normalize a conversation that some people just aren't acceptable. And we've seen that throughout history where people have started discussions and started to eliminate whole groups of people, and we need to make sure that we stand against that. There are some countries in Europe that have really eliminated Down syndrome individuals and babies. And so that's why South Dakota wanted to take a stand against eugenics. Every single life is precious. Every single person has value. That tweet, what it did is it insinuated that some people don't and that they can be exterminated.
Do you think that, or is South Dakota and you considering something similar to the Texas bill that we're hearing so much about this week, the heartbeat bill?
We absolutely are. I don't know if you know this, Rachel, but when I became governor, I was the first governor in the country to put a person in my governor's office whose full-time job was to be an unborn child advocate, which meant they spent every day looking for legislation, statute, and also case law and litigation that we could bring forward to protect life, and that person would be dedicated to doing that. And so, yes, that individual has already been tasked with looking at this Texas bill, if we could pass it in South Dakota and make sure that it was going to be upheld in court. We have other pieces of legislation that we're constantly bringing. Just this last session, we brought 6 and passed them into law that were pro-life pieces of legislation. So I really desire that South Dakota will be an example as well for how we defend each and every individual, believing that they're all special.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful. Somebody dedicated to being the voice of the most, voiceless people in America, the unborn. That's amazing. I want to switch topics with you for a second here. There are 16 states that have joined you in a lawsuit against the Department of Interior, who has tried to stop you, who is stopping you from having a firework display at Mount Rushmore. I remember seeing that fireworks display and Donald Trump's speech, and yours as well. It was such a great patriotic moment. Why is it so important for you to continue this fight for South Dakota?
Well, because we believe that the Biden administration completely ignored law. There is an Administrative Procedures Act that they did not follow. They have to give us a valid reason for why they denied us those permits. Remember, we went through all the safety checks, the environmental permitting processes. We had all the fire safety individuals in agreement. We had a go, no-go checklist. And we followed the law and made sure we did unprecedented action to make sure it was going to be safe and we could celebrate America together.
So why do you think they don't want you to do that, Governor? I mean, why are they opposed to this? It's so bizarre.
All political. It's all political, Rachel. And that's the thing, is this Biden administration is hell-bent on punishing South Dakota. You know, the fact is I campaigned for President Trump in 17 different states during the campaign. And I was very black and white on the fact that I believed we needed President Trump in the White House, that President Biden would do exactly what he's doing in this country today, and that he would destroy us. And I I just wasn't in any gray area about it. I was out there and working hard to make sure we gave him the chance to continue and get 4 more years. So now this administration has taken me from being on offense to defense every day. And I'm fighting for my people to protect their freedoms and their liberties. And honestly, South Dakota is thriving. We are growing. We have the fastest growing economy in the country. We have one of the lowest unemployment rates, and people here are happy.
Yeah. Well, you're not just fighting for South Dakota. I think America needs these patriotic moments and this sort of 1776 spirit, which obviously South Dakota does such a great job of with Mount Rushmore and those fireworks. So again, Governor, I know you're so busy. I really appreciate you coming on a Saturday morning for us.
Anytime, Rachel. I love you and your family. And little Valentina she's a special, special little girl. And goodness sakes, we need more of her in this world to remind people about every child is a miracle.
That's right. Governor, thank you so much.
Yeah. Have a wonderful day.
You too.